What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are here for episode 1 of our main channel, Madden 23 franchise mode. And if you guys want to see these episodes drop fast and furious, if we can hit the like goal of 1,000 likes, I'm sure we can have another episode drop come the weekend. I had to think about this for quite some time. What team did I want to take over and control here in Madden 23 and take them from the bottom and bring them all the way up to the tippity top? It was tough. It was very hard. Very long, but I came to a decision. Panthers Nation, keep pounding.
Okay, do it again.
Panthers Nation, keep pounding.
Now, let's meet the NFC champion, Carolina Panthers.
Look, Carolina in my city, I'ma kick it in Wakanda. Wear a panther on my chest, badge of honor. Hitting 150 on the dash, burns rubber when you pass. In a swim move, get us to Bahamas. How they gon' talk like a MC? Seeing me, I see him, hit a side step and I'm a goner. 1, 2, 3 quarters down, let the C4 sound. Cause the chip coming back to Carolina. And they be like, calling it a fluke. When we went to 50, we back now. Kuechly only Luke, we don't need the force for the smackdown. Say you in the field, but you never leave in your area. You end up DOA when you went to Bank of America, so back out.
With the 6th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Ikem Ekwonu.
The round never was step out of bounds, honestly. Where my drums go, homie, where my drums go. Let them keep pounding, I load it up and unload. Keep it a hundo. Y'all ain't really saints, y'all sinners. 28, 3, 1 Carolina in my city, I'ma kick it in Wakanda. Wear a panther on my chest, badge of honor. Hitting 150 on the dash, burns rubber when you pass. In a swim move, get us to Bahamas. How they gon' talk like a MC? Seeing me, I see him, hit a side step and I'm a goner. 1, 2, 3 quarters down, let the C4 sound. Cause the chip coming back to Carolina. And they be like,
Man, imagine if I could have this kind of background, this blue background, but you could see my face. God, I suck with setups. What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and we are live for episode 1 of our Madden 23 Carolina Panthers franchise. I did the Panther fans a little bit dirty last year. Last year, I was going to do the Panthers. We had to wait for the scouting update, and when the scouting update dropped, the Panthers were undefeated. We thought maybe there was something in the water there. It ended up, I probably could have done them, unfortunately, for the Panther fans out there, but I had to make it up to you guys. And I genuinely want to do the Panthers. Panthers are, in terms of overall, a bottom 10 team in Madden 23, but they still have a lot of good. So we're going to go through quickly everything that we're going to be rocking with. First, for our settings, and I'm not some sort of measuring contest to skill. I'm going to start on all Madden. There's no sliders, so we're on default all Madden sliders. We know what's going to come with that. But if things aren't fun, if I'm not getting fun gameplay, I have no problem at all knocking it down to all pro until we get a good set of Madden sliders. I'm also going to apply a play call cooldown of 5 so that, I like the balance there so you don't get all the meta runs and slants and all that stuff. It definitely opens things up for someone like me that I just like to call the plays that the coach calls in. I feel like that gives us, what the balance that we're looking for. Dev trait regression will be turned off just because I'll never be a fan of it, even though Swami did say that they kind of overhauled it a little bit. I'm fine. We're going to be going 8-minute quarters for the preseason. Then when we get to the regular season, I'm going to bump it up to 12. As far as sliders are concerned, it's just way too early in the Madden cycle to have a legit set of sliders. XP sliders will all be on default. And for gameplay sliders, I'm going to leave them all on default. I'm just going with the 2 that are usually pretty universal. Injuries, you want to keep it between that 10 and 15 range. We'll start at 15. Just because, injuries give you that little bit of storyline to it. And also, always turn off intentional grounding. That is something that just for whatever reason, every single Madden, when you turn this off, the quarterbacks are more aggressive. The quarterbacks stay in the pocket with their throws a little bit better. So that is what we're starting with. But again, sliders will be coming. Usually takes about a month or so. And when I find a set of sliders on All Pro or All Madden or both that work, I'll make a video and share the love with you guys. So now let's meet the roster. Let's take a look at the good, the bad, the ugly of the Carolina Panthers. So first things first, we have all of our draft picks outside of a 5th rounder in 2023. And for this series, for pretty much any series, we're going to be using Madden-generated draft classes outside of the realistic rebuilds. I mean, that's my bread and butter. I love making those draft classes. I love making content with realistic prospects. But for this series, I want to, kind of take in everything. That is the Madden scouting process and we are going to be using a generated draft class. Look at our special teams unit. Under the radar side, when did this happen? Johnny Hekker, who's been regarded over the last decade as like the best punter in the NFL. He is on the Panthers. I don't know when and how this happened, but as someone that absolutely appreciates the fine art of video game punting, I love having Johnny Hekker. And given what we have under center right now, we might be punting it a lot. We might need a lot of gongs, and I think Johnny Hekker can provide them. Also, probably the best fake punter in the NFL right now, so maybe we'll have to bust one of those out. Maybe today's video in the preseason. We got Zane Gonzalez at kicker, 95 kick power. That'll do. Jumping into the secondary, we have some decent depth guys. Duke Dawson, formerly of my Florida Gators. He was a very versatile player, but the stud of the safety room is Jeremy Chinn, 6'3", 220 pounds, 82 star dev. Ceiling is... This guy could be a 99. This guy could be an X factor. 93 speed, 92 acceleration, literally well-rounded at everything. Really, the only question that it comes to down to Jeremy Chinn is he good enough to be our sub linebacker? Is he good enough to start over Shaq Thompson in that role? But Jeremy Chinn absolutely is going to be one of the pillars of this team for multiple seasons. Looking at the free safety room, you got Kenny Robinson, who's like an XFL all-star. A couple depth guys. The best of the bunch is Xavier Woods, who I believe last played for the Minnesota Vikings with a free agent signing. 77 normal dev. He's 27, so he's probably getting pretty close to his ceiling, but he's a fine player. Good stats, good athlete, 87 hit power, 84 pursuit, 74 tackling, and not really a complete liability in coverage. He's just a very solid kind of bridge player. Even though he doesn't have the player tag, I think he's going to be a guy that obviously won't be in our long-term plans unless he pops a dev trade sooner than later, but serviceable until we can find, you know, a proper successor. To finish out the secondary, I really, really like the corner room here for the Carolina Panthers. You got Madre Harper, 6'1", 91 speed. Kalen Burns, the rookie out of Baylor, 6 feet tall, 98 speed. Chris Westry, 6'4", 91 speed, 92 acceleration. We got Stanley Talbot Oliver, another guy, 6 feet plus, 90 speed. Keith Taylor, 6'2", a little bit longer. And then our three starters. You got CJ Henderson, who, you know, some people might want to write him off because he was a high draft pick and got traded early by the Jags. That was the Urban Meyer Jags. I think he's a damn good player. Maybe that's a little Gator bias, but he's 75 with the start F, 6'1", 205. Great size, 93 speed, 92 acceleration. Got to develop a little bit in terms of the coverage, but the athleticism is there and the ceiling is there for him to become a long-term starter. We have Dante Jackson, who has been, you know, maybe the most consistent face in that Panthers secondary. Just signed a 3-year contract extension. 81 with the star. He's 5'10", but he plays like he's 6'10". Absolute dog. And then that 98 jumping, he's one of those sub 6 feet tall corners that you look at that, that's a slot corner. He could play on the outside. So I don't really know how we're going to line up all of our corners just yet. That'll be something we figure out in the preseason. But we have two really good starters. And I think maybe the most underrated player on this whole team, people are forgetting about him, J.C. Horn. Absolutely was the most aggressive physical corner in last year's draft class. Got picked early. Unfortunately, suffered an injury. We didn't get to see him play a whole lot in his rookie season. Did he even make it to the preseason? 75 with a start out, 6'1", 200 pounds, 92 speed, 92 acceleration, 94 jumping, 80 press. Absolute stud. The son of Joe Horn, who is fantastic. I remember him playing for the Saints. I think he played for the Falcons as well. But I absolutely think out of everyone that we mentioned, even Jeremy Chinn included, the guy that I'm most excited for in this secondary to see where he goes is absolutely J.C. Horn. One thing I will say about our secondary, we do not have any veterans that have the mentor tag, which gives additional XP to all corners on the roster. And given the fact that the average age of our corner is probably 24, I think maybe we even look at free agency before we get into things. Bring that veteran in to get that XP boost. The linebacking core is not too shabby. I mean, we're long from the days of Shaq Thompson, Thomas Davis, and Luke Kuechly. But left side linebacker, we have Luvu and Corey Littleton. Littleton at one point, I mean, he was a big money move for the Raiders after he had a little bit of a breakout year with the Rams. So it'll be interesting to see. I'll probably actually will side with Littleton at left outside linebacker. In the middle, we have Damian Wilson, just solid veteran. Kamal Martin, Julian Stanford, but there's the benefit of Stanford. He has the mentor player tag. So that means we will be getting additional XP boosts every single week for all our middle linebackers. We just want to keep him, and obviously maybe we'll draft a middle linebacker before too late. Maybe get that true successor to Luke Kuechly, or do we already have one on the roster? Shaq Thompson has been established. He was so good. I remember him coming to Washington. He literally played like every position. He was like a running back, wide receiver, safety, linebacker at Washington. He's found his niche. And again, I think it's going to be interesting to see between him and Jeremy Chin who is going to be best used as our sub linebacker. But looking at the stats, just a very, very good player, very well rounded, can drop back into coverage, can pass rush a little bit, but usually you want to try to utilize his sideline to sideline ability. But speaking of Luke Kuechly successors, the rookie Brandon Smith out of Penn State. We might need to move him inside to middle linebacker to get the benefit of that Stanford mentorship. Look at what we're dealing with. A ball of clay that we might be able to make into an absolute masterpiece. 6'4", 244 pounds. We got 88 speed, 91 acceleration, 84 hit power, 77 tackles, 79 pursuit. Absolutely need to develop the rest of his game. 89 jumping. This guy is an athletic freak. One thing you could say about Matt Rule is that he gets fun Madden players. There's going to be a lot of differencing of opinions between myself as a non-diehard Panther fan and Panther fans that are watching this on Matt Rule, but he loves his fast players. It's something that he used to do at Baylor, and he's apparently bringing that to the NFL. So someone like Brandon Smith, we'll see how it kind of plays out in the preseason, but I don't think I'm going to hesitate too much to move him into middle linebacker because he can probably play across all three spots and just more so maximize that mentorship tag on Julian Stanford for him. Start with the D-line at D-tackle. We got Hoskins, we got Bravion Roy, former Matt Rule player at Baylor. Davion Nixon, which was one of the sleeper D-tackle picks, I think, last year's draft. He was like the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. Kind of slipped in the draft a little bit. Interesting skill set. The most athletic D-tackle we have on the roster. I think it could be a big preseason for him. We got Matt Ioannidis, the former Temple Owl under Matt Rule. He is just serviceable. I mean, he's been serviceable for the Commanders, and now he is here, and he does have that star dev trait, which certainly helps his game. But the stud in the middle is Derek Brown, 81. He did lose his superstar, but 6'5", 320 pounds, built like a nose tackle, has the athleticism just to be completely versatile. 94 strength, 86 tackle. And I think, again, another player, very high ceiling. At only 24 years old, I think he pops a dev trait. Sky is the limit for Derek Brown. At defensive end, we have Yetur Gross-Matos, 73 star dev, second-year player out of Penn State. See, that's not like a trend here. This is a young team. That is the best thing going for it, is that we have a lot of players that if we can develop them properly, they are going to shoot off like a freaking rocket. So Gross-Matos, more of a run defender than he is a pass rusher right now, but we can hone those skills. We have Daryl Johnson as depth. Matt Rule likes his freaks, huh? Barno, 6'5", 245 pass rusher out of Virginia Tech, much like Brandon Smith. We got 92 speed, 93 acceleration, tackling, pass rush skills, all that stuff is honestly kind of the shits, but the speed, the athleticism, you can't teach that. Those are the hardest things to gain during training. So everything else, the technical side will come, but I do think it might be worth exploring if we want 3 right defensive ends for Barno, much like in Brandon Smith's case. Maybe see if we can land a mentor at this position that can help him develop a little bit quicker and get that XP boost. On the other side, some depth guys, but we don't really need to worry about them too much because we have Brian Burns, superstar pass rusher out of Florida State. Big fan of him ever since he entered the league. He is a speed rusher, absolute scheme fit, 89 speed, 92 acceleration. We got that 89 finesse move, 88 agility. Might maybe be a little bit stronger in a perfect world, but this guy here is absolutely prolific. And I do think there's a certain degree of he's a little bit underrated. Carolina hasn't been hot since he's been there, but it's only a matter of time until he fully catches on to the rest of the league. He is going to be premier. I think he's going to be my top user on the defensive line. Flipping to the offense, the offensive line it's a work in progress. We got 2 really good bookends, though, which help. Taylor Moton at right tackle, 83 with the star dev. He is 28, so he's getting pretty close to the top of his ceiling, but he is going to be a guy that absolutely needs to be counted on, and we're going to, if this is anything like Madden 22, you pretty much got to ride your offensive lineman into the ground because it's pretty difficult to replace him. Right guard, we got Austin Corbett. Out of everybody on the roster, probably the only guy that I was surprised that had a dev trait, but he is 76 with the star dev. Also has a face scan, 26. He was a high draft pick of the Cleveland Browns, I think. He's kind of bounced around the league. I think he went to the Rams, but he is now here in Carolina. Hopefully he can help us out. We got Deontay Brown, who was very good in college at Alabama. Struggled to catch on a little bit in the NFL, and Cade Mays as well. So we have some nice youth at right guard. At center, we got Bradley Bozeman coming over from the Baltimore Ravens. Just very solid, very serviceable, big, bulky, mauler-type center, 6'5", 325, fourth-year player out of Alabama. Just serviceable. Elfline there at center as well, and Tecklenburg from Baylor, because, Matt Rule got to just fill the team with his Baylor Bears. Left guard, we have Brady Christensen and Michael Jordan. Not that Michael Jordan. Christian's great athlete, though. He started as a tackle at BYU, 6'5", 3'2". He was the left tackle, I believe, for Zach Wilson at BYU, but a terrific athlete, 88 strength, 75 speed, 79 acceleration. So if we have any plays that need to require a guard pulling, it should be him. And at left tackle, Dennis Daly's there for depth, but Ike Ekwonu, the first-round pick of the Carolina Panthers, he is everything as advertised. 76 with the hidden dev, absolute mauler. The most vicious offensive lineman last year in college football is now a Carolina Panther. 90 strength, 88 lead block, 93 impact blocking. Great athlete as well. This is just a guy that likes to get out in space and absolutely destroy people. He is our franchise left tackle. Very, very happy to have him on our team. The tight end room is interesting. We have two long snappers. We have J.J. Jansen, who's getting that cheesy long snapper, but he's still the tight end mentor player tag, so all tight ends are going to get an additional boost. So we absolutely don't need two long snappers, so thank you for your service, Fletcher. You're the first to get snipped. We have another Temple player, Thompson, Steven Sullivan, converted wide receiver. And then our two tight ends. We have Ian Thomas, 71. He's been in the league for a minute out of Indiana. Not too shabby, good athlete at that 90 acceleration, but I do think our tight end one is going to be Tommy Tremble, the second-year player out of Notre Dame. He does have that dev trait, and the fact that, pretty much just very similar to Ian Thomas, except he's a little bit younger, has the dev trait. It seems fairly self-explanatory that he is going to be our starter going forward, and he's a very well-rounded tight end. Guy that can catch, he can block. I think, again, high ceiling. Next up is our wide receiver room. We have Brandon Zylstra from Canada. Concordia University. That's weird. Keith Kirkwood, Temple. Get it? Hey, it's Matt Rule. Temple, Baylor. You're going to see a lot of these players popping up. 6'3", though, with 90 speed. We got Shai Smith, developmental slot wide receiver. Terrence Marshall, developmental player out of LSU, 6'3", with 91 speed. Andre Roberts as a return man, and he also brings the mentorship player tag. So that means he's going to be giving additional weekly XP to all of our wide receivers, which is helpful. They got Hollywood Higgins coming over from the Cleveland Browns. Remember, once upon a time at Colorado State, he had a Heisman campaign because he was absolutely crushing it. But the top two wide receivers on this team, actually, you know what? On this point, we can try to see how we want to kind of use this wide receiver room because Higgins is more reliable, but Marshall has better stats. He's younger, higher ceiling. Maybe we'll have to make Marshall our wide receiver 3. I don't know yet. We'll see how that kind of plays out during the preseason. A little bit of a positional battle, but our top two wide receivers are undisputed. First up, I don't know if he's happy about who's going to be playing under center, but we have Robbie Anderson, 83 star. He's 29, so he's at his ceiling, but absolutely has not lost his speed. 96 speed, 93 acceleration, 85 catching. You have good catch in traffic, good deep route. He can pretty much do it all. Very good stats across the board here for Robbie Anderson. Hopefully he can fly, and hopefully we can get the deep ball going because that is going to maximize his strengths. But the wide receiver one, undisputed. DJ Moore, 88 overall, superstar dev trait, only 25 years old, 6 feet tall, 210 pounds, got himself a new contract. Just insanely well-rounded. You could make him a running back, he'd be a great running back. You can make him a slot wide receiver, he'd be a great slot wide receiver. You can use him as a deep threat, he'll be a great deep threat. Incredibly well-rounded. He's the number 16th wide receiver in the NFL, and the fact that he's only 25, he's only going to get better. I think we have a legitimate potential 99 overall candidate in a couple seasons. So that is how good, that is how high his ceiling is, and I'm very excited to be able to get going with DJ Moore as our wide receiver 1. Actually have a fullback on the roster. Giovanni Ricci was a tight end at Western Michigan. Okay. Spencer Brown, the rookie at UAB, was just unbelievable production at UAB. Bradwell at 235 pounds. He could be a fullback. We have Dante Foreman out of Texas, 6'1", 233. So clearly the back end of our running back room, they were definitely going for something here. We'll kind of see how that plays out in the preseason. But the RB1, RB2, we have the Canadian Chuba Hubbard. Actually, I didn't know he got a face scan. I'm very happy to see that he does get a face scan. 6 feet 210, was prolific, was at a point in time the best running back in college football, the most productive running back at least in college football. But the man of the hour, the man that made me question where I should put the injury sliders, unfortunately, Christian McCaffrey, CMC, 97 with the X Factor. I would say the kind of good thing, I'm not in the business of really modifying these yet, we'll start with them, is that you could argue for a running back, he has probably the worst X Factor ability. So there's a lot of people that debate because of his injuries and stuff if he still should be pulling that X Factor rating. I think he should. I think when he's healthy, he is absolutely a top 3 running back at worst in the NFL. But, if you are a little uneasy with him having an X factor at the gate, at least his X factor is kind of garbage, right? We get it by making 20-yard receptions. It's, once you get in it, the jukes, I guess, are kind of good. But I would argue out of all the running back abilities, ankle breaker is near the bottom of the list. But the ratings are ridiculous. Everything. He's just incredibly well running. You don't want to use him really as a power back, but 91 speed, 93 acceleration, 96 agility, just breaks ankles, snatches ankles left, right, and center, carrying ball carrier vision, juke move, spin move, change of direction. Oh, and he also has 83 catching, 81 short route. He could be a wide receiver if he wanted to follow in line with his dad, Ed McCaffrey. But CMC, man, one of my favorite players in the NFL. And a guy that if I was a kid today, if I was a high school kid, he'd probably be who I looked up to. The most interesting spot, the biggest question mark that we have with this roster is the quarterbacks. We have XFL MVP, PJ Walker. We have Matt Corral, who there was a point in time that he was regarded as the top quarterback in last year's draft class. Things happened. He had some injuries, but he's absolutely our developmental quarterback on the roster. 68 normal dev, 23 years old, 89 throw power. You look at all the stats. Go to the athleticism, 84 speed, 89 acceleration. Like, he has better Madden stats than the only quarterback that was drafted in the first round in Kenny Pickett. I know they did Kenny Pickett dirty, but Matt Corral is very sleepery. And I'm not saying that he can earn the starting quarterback job from the preseason. He's going to have a chance, but I'm going to be more so inclined to say that if things don't work out with the other two, and it's looking late in the season, I'm not, the year's kind of what, maybe we break this glass in case of emergency and see what the kid can do. But the quarterback battle, first up is our almost $19 million quarterback, Sam Darnold, who, he's going to have a chance in the preseason. You look at the stats, nothing too, he's like as bang on average of a quarterback as you could have. 88 throw power, the accuracies are high 70s, 87 short accuracy, can play action in it, can throw on the run, athletically, good enough. But the fact that he's very expensive, he's 25, pretty much at his ceiling. I mean, he was a guy when he was coming to USC, I was low on Sam Darnold. He was a project, didn't play a lot at USC, and he's got a little bit of a raw deal since he's been in the league. Things in the Jets, in terms of like his development and stuff, it absolutely was stunted. But I'm not overly optimistic that he is going to win this gig, but we're going to give an opportunity because there's sometimes, we've seen the last couple of Madden, some players play a lot better than their stats can incline you to, and players with great stats play a lot worse. And that is the case here with the man that was just acquired from the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield. He is 27, so he's the oldest quarterback in the room, and he's getting pretty close to that ceiling point in terms of development and or facing regression. He does have the star dev. The stats are very good. 94 throw power. He's one of the biggest arms in the NFL. 85 deep accuracy, 88 short, 88 throw on the run, 87 play action, 81 throw under pressure. He literally is built like a quarterback that I'm going to succeed with. But then again, it goes right back to that last thing about Sam Darnold. How many times has there been a quarterback like this guy can't miss? This guy is going to be our guy, and he just does not play good. And it's some sleeper quarterback that you never even considered is the guy that feels the best in my hands. Phrasing. So very interesting quarterback room. That is going to be the position out of all the positions that we have to focus on here in this preseason. We're going to get through all the preseason here today and set everything up for week 1, which is a home game against the Cleveland Browns. And as it stands right now, Deshaun Watson will be playing in that matchup. Can Baker Mayfield earn the starting quarterback job and start week 1 against his former team? Or are we going to have a surprise quarterback that absolutely crushes during the preseason? Let's find out. We'll check the trade block a little bit later in the preseason. No one's on there yet. Maybe we can improve the squad. I don't think there's going to be many outgoing players from our team. Maybe if Darnold clearly is not going to be our guy, we could see if anyone wants to trade for him. But as it stands right now, we're going to kind of wait, sit on our hands a bit. As far as weekly strategy is concerned for this preseason, we're just going to go absolutely generic. It's the preseason. But for our team, our 3 focus players, I don't actually disagree with what we have already in place. Ekwonu absolutely want to maximize that dev. Corral is our developmental quarterback, so every additional XP that he can get is going to be huge. And then there's an argument that Brandon Smith, maybe even more so than Barno, is the guy that, like, in terms of developmental, let's get him his reps right away. I mean, you could see Derek Brown getting some extra reps, but you more so want guys, especially because we have injuries on, that if they do go down, it's not like you're losing an immediate starter right away. So we will start with Brandon Smith, and maybe, hopefully, we can earn a lot of staff points here. I would love to get at least one more slot and be able to toss Barno, or maybe even Kalon Barnes, the 98 speed rookie, develop those guys that have elite athletic traits, but need to come along a little bit faster on the technical side. Okay, first week of practice here. You can see Brandon Smith, 5, 6, almost 700 XP, which looks pretty good. We did have one injury, which is Xavier Woods is going to miss. It's the preseason, you know, it's first preseason game. Not overly concerned about that. On the offensive side, look at Equano, 300 drill XP, 230 bonus, 300 focus XP. That is absolutely awesome. We did have an injury, though, for a player that I was actually kind of hoping to play with in our first preseason game. Chuba Hubbard is going to miss it with a turf toe. We got a couple upgrades. First, Tommy Tremble. We're going to keep feeding the points into the scheme fit possession. +3 short route running. Not bad. And another one for Terrace Marshall Jr. We'll pump him into physical, make him a scheme fit right away. And again, I am kind of leaning towards him being our wide receiver 3 over Hollywood Higgins. That rules coaching tree, staff upgrades, kind of the shit. So here in the preseason, I do want to try to focus in on our weekly goals to earn as many point upgrades as we can. So 15 first downs, 200 yards offensively, less than 24 points, and 2 passing touchdowns here in our first preseason game against the Commanders. Doable. All right, now, not a fan of having Christian McCaffrey get any reps in the preseason. Oh, that's a big run. Oh, let's go, kid. What a run by McCaffrey. 10 yards a carry. That's keep that the whole season. Our rules loving it. First and 10 will go Terrace Marshall right away. First down. Okay, 3rd and 8 after 2 back-to-back failed runs. This is going to be our first shot. I'm terrified. It's my first deep shot on all Madden. There's a great chance. Oh, we're able to... Actually, wasn't terribly accurate. But he makes a catch, and there's an injury off ball to Robbie Anderson. Uh-oh. All right, I'm taking that as a sign from the universe. McCaffrey's done for the day. Robbie Anderson, strained knee. Sit this one out. 3rd and 10. See, the problem with taking out McCaffrey is so much of this playbook is around, like, I honestly think... Even with Chuba Hubbard, we might need to get another receiving back on this roster. Let's go 3rd and 10. Might be in 4-down territory here if we really want to go for it. But right across the middle of the field, it is Marshall. He is catching everything. Baker Mayfield has a favorite target. Go for it. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. You're a monster. And he punches it in. Let's go. Not good tackling on Scary Terry. I got a drive going here. Oh, there we go. Getting home on the quarter blitz. JC Horde.
Mine.
Oh! Oh! C.J. Henderson. Let's go, Gators. Both feet in like a wide receiver. There we go. Darnold can throw a nice slant pass. His opportunity. But now that the starter's out, going to be a lot less highlights. Shot play here for Sam Darnold. 3rd and long. Shi Smith, Hollywood Higgins. I like Higgins on the outside there. Oh, and an accurate ball from Sam Darnold.
Mine.
Oh, there we go. Duke Dawson. Just what is Heineke doing? Just throwing the ball in harm's way. His 2nd pick. Who would have thought he would be the one throwing ducks up in the air, not Carson Wentz? Eaten alive. Okay. Like it. I like the aggressiveness. And that was indecisive. Running back was right there. Come on, Sam. Seeing ghosts. Want to see a welcome to the NFL? Brandon Smith, the linebacker we're very high on. Watch this. I used him on a blitz. Murdered. Whatever. Go for it on 4th down. It does not work out. I wanted to give Darnold a little bit more snaps. But I think we're going to finish this game with Matt Corral. Oh, Barno! What a freak! What a freak! Davion Nixon. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Davion Nixon, spin move, looking like Warren Sapp. Whatever. It's the preseason, man. They're trying. We're trying to figure out our team. They're just trying to win. They need morale points because their team's the freaky Commanders. All right, perfect. It's Matt Corral's time to start, and they have like full momentum meter as the home team. Yeah, kind of hung him out to dry there. And there's Davion Nixon making the argument, man. Needs to see the field a lot more. Second sack of the day. Third down defense has been very poor. Go Matt! Shi Smith on the Matt Corral bomb. Arguably our best throw of the game. Corral's a perfect 5 for 5. Let's finish this off with a tutty. Stephen Sullivan, the tight end across the middle. I'll take that. Might not win the game, but that is a win for Matt Corral and the second, third stringers. On offense, anyways. Look at that, man. Beautiful. The first preseason game did not go as planned, but it's the preseason. Wins and losses don't really matter too much. I was impressed with our starters on defense. I was impressed with Matt Corral. Really, Darnold's the only, and even then it was like, you know, he was whelming. Foreman did well. We pulled McCaffrey before he could get hurt. Marshall was very effective with Baker Mayfield. Shi Smith had a couple nice plays there. And on the defensive side of the ball, Davion Nixon, 4 tackles, 3 TFLs, 2 sacks, was an absolute monster. Barno had a sack. J.C. Horn had a sack. 2 picks. Henderson and Dawson. A lot more positives than negatives from this first preseason game. And we got half our goals, so 11 staff points. Preseason game 2 is against the New England Patriots. I'm not planning on altering the lineups too much, but I have heard some pretty dicey reports, because this was also who we practiced with in week training. Collab sessions with the Patriots, and things were... This could get rough. This could get ugly. Now that the trade block is kind of also filled out, one position I am looking at is middle linebacker. Just to get someone maybe a little bit more in line with our defense. There's some options. We have Jabril Cox of the Dallas Cowboys, Baron Browning, but the guy that I'm really looking at here is Divine Diablo. 6'3", 226, converted safety, 90 speed, 87 acceleration. We got 90 tackle, 88 hit power, decent zone coverage. And they're looking for a D tackle. We have depth at D tackle. Like if Davion Nixon can keep developing, maybe someone like Matt Ioannidis, 28 years old with the star dev, we could send him to the Raiders and get back Diablo and maybe a pick. I'm not quite ready to pull that trigger, but maybe a little bit later, right before the regular season starts, we could consider something like that. Are you kidding me? I literally pulled him. I didn't change him out of the sub pass. Torn labrum? What is that? Kind of down. That's like 6 weeks, probably 8 weeks. James White's retired. He came out of retirement for 1 game. Wanted to chop block my best pass rusher and tear his labrum. Here we go. Luvu gets a sack. He might have to be a guy that steps up. I don't know what we're going to do to replace Byron Burns. Barno? Maybe we give Barno the chance? No, he's nowhere near ready. That bites for the fake. Still able to make the play. There we go. Wide open. It's not going to be pink slips, Chuba Hubbard, but we're going to give him some opportunities here. Got 3rd and long here for Baker Mayfield. Not expecting a whole lot, but if he can make a play. It's a dot. Picking on Juwan Bentley in coverage. I think we have our starter. Oh! The speed! Chuba Hubbard, get in there. Let's go. What a touchdown. What a touchdown. Broken tackles. Thing of beauty. We haven't got a deep ball yet. We haven't maximized that 94 throw power. Let's see if DJ Moore can win on the outside. They got McCourty back there. Going to play center field. Looks like he definitely wants to try to bait us. But we can fire that. Robbie Anderson can't run away. But that is a big gator. Maybe a sign of things to come. More so focused towards the regular season. Ooh, against... I don't even know who that is. He got absolutely robbed. Jabril Peppers. We got our QB1. Now it's about QB2. Do we keep Darnold? Can Corral earn that QB2 spot? Should have just ran it into halftime. That's unfair to Baker Mayfield's final stat line there. I was just like, oh man, we haven't gone to Terrace Marshall. He was kind of good game 1. Just forced it. Quicker. Slow ass release, man. That, if you got him, you had him there for a second. Needed to be quicker. Oh, look what we got here. We got a wild Panther. Speaking of the Panthers, say hi, Riggs. Good kitty. Come on, Darnold, make a throw here, bud. Stay in the pocket and get mauled. We're going to give him the third quarter. We'll give Corral the fourth. Tell which quarterback I'm looking forward to playing with the most right now. Man, Barno eats that one a lot. You know, I don't think we're going to look too much further on the depth chart to fill in for Brian Burns for any length of time. I think we're going to gamble on the traits of Barno and just hopefully he doesn't get picked on. When you can do things like that, excellent pursuit. No,
you suck.
Not the best day at the office for the quarterbacks, not named Baker Mayfield. That was a bad throw. Well, they still got starters in. What's Jalen Mills doing out there? Takeaways from this game: Baker Mayfield's our QB, and the football gods didn't want Brian Burns to live today. Do I even really want to look at this? Do I even really want to? 5 weeks? Could be worse. Shouldn't have been in there, though. Come on. Take him out of one depth chart. Let's just remove him from the rest of the depth chart. A nice little upgrade here for Jeremy Chin, ahead of the final game, where he is absolutely not suiting up after the injury to Brian Burns. Ooh, a training camp stand-up. Please be Barno. Please be someone that's going to have to get thrown into, oh, it's Gross Matos. Okay, again, that helps a little bit. Let's work on his rushing the passer, as I think right now he's a lot more refined as a run defender, +3 power and finesse move. You know, he got 5 weeks to make the most of his opportunity. He's going to be our go-to pass rusher till Brian Burns is back. And our final preseason game against the Buffalo Bills, it's Darnold versus Matt Corral. That's all we're going to find out. Everyone else is going to be backups playing. We're not losing anyone to injury ahead of that Week 1 game against Cleveland. Now, the Bills do have their starters out, so my expectations of how this is going to go, we are all backups. There is a level of, like, you know, this is going to be tough. So get a couple good reps in. At least we got that on that drive. Yeah, congrats, Ed Oliver. You're going up against a guy that's like a 59 overall. What a rep. What a rep, though. I'm not here to wish injury on anybody, but this is getting ridiculous. You're asking for it. You're the Bills. All right, Darnold's last pass of the preseason. Can you get us a touchdown or something ridiculous? Play action. I think that's Von Miller. All right, glad Von Miller got that needed rep in preseason. Oh, who's that? Jordan Poyer? Is that Pro Bowler there? Making a nice jump on the pass. 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter of the third preseason game. All right, cool. Shi Smith! Let's get one touchdown. Let's get one against the Bills starters. That's all I ask. We give this one to Canadian Chuba Hubbard up the middle. Well, looks like they might have pulled their starters. And surprise, surprise. First drive they pull their starters. We get a touchdown on level playing field. Higgins. Matt Corral slinging it. All right, last play of the game. 3 and 13. 3rd and 13. We got our final shot here. Would love to get Corral a passing touchdown. Kid's a stud. Kid got something special to him. All right, so the comparison, the battle, everything we're kind of focusing on. Corral, 10 of 17, 140 yards, touchdown, and a pick. Mostly against the Bills starters, which, I mean, those are good, valuable reps. You're going against arguably the best team in the AFC. Darnold went 6 of 10, 98 yards. I think at the very least, we'll throw Darnold here up on the trade block, and we'll see what kind of offers come in. Just couldn't run the ball. Couldn't do a whole lot. Shi Smith had a nice game. 5 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. And on the defensive side, I mean, again, going up against Josh Allen, I assume, for 75% of the final preseason game. It's going to be tough with our backups. Not bad. The star of the final preseason game, arguably, Shi Smith. We're going to work on that slot spot because that's where I think his role is going to be. Gets an upgrade. Now you might say, are you worried? You went 0-3 in the preseason. And to that I say, yes, we were met with some frustrations, but we had the #1 rushing defense, a top 5 pass yard defense, and now we get to release all of our stress by ruining 20 people's careers. Jansen, we're going to keep just because he has the mentorship tag. It's going to be valuable, especially to Tommy Tremble at tight end. A couple easy cuts here on the offensive line. Wyatt Miller, best of luck. Tecklenburg, that's a great name, best of luck. Colin Thompson, you can move on. Bradwell didn't even see time. I like Foreman as our power back. We'll throw Spencer Brown on the practice squad because I respect what he did at UAB. PJ Walker, XFL MVP, just don't need him right now. We'll throw Hoskins on the practice squad. Let's fill that up with some defensive players. Same with Madre Harper. Why is there like a input lag? Cade Mays, another guy, prime candidate for the practice squad. Daryl Johnson. Not really what I'm looking for in a pass rusher. I like Westry, Barnes, Roy, Sam Franklin. Not overly familiar with this guy. So we'll release him. We're down to 9. Zylstra, as much as it pains me to get rid of a guy that went to Concordia University, we'll move on from him, and Larkin as well. Those guys, right now, we're just purely depth guys that aren't going to see the field, have very limited upside, all things considered. We'll get rid of Chandler because I think Kenny Robinson is fine as our free safety 2 behind Xavier Woods. Probably could do a little bit better than Kirkwood. You want Andre Roberts, much like Jansen. You want him for that veteran mentor tag that's going to help out the XP. I don't really think we need a fullback, and if we do, we could explore other options there. What are we down to? 3 more remaining. This is going to be a little bit more difficult than I thought, because I don't want to get rid of anyone else. We'll throw Stanley Thomas Oliver on the practice squad. Take Bravion Roy, and we'll put him on the practice squad. Final cut, we'll go light at left guard, just so I don't have to say, not that Michael Jordan, the other Michael Jordan. We'll just get rid of that right now. We have 4 spots available on our practice squad. So first up, we're going to get a player that was very well known to Matt Rule at Baylor, and we're going to sign Denzel Mims. Arguably, we could even throw him on the main squad. If you think we should do that, let me know in the comment section below. But right now, we'll throw him on one of our 4 remaining practice squad spots. We'll also get Devin Asiasi, formerly of the Patriots, signed to the practice squad. We'll grab Graylin Arnold, another one of Matt Rule's former Baylor Bears. We'll finish up adding a scheme fit guard here in Aaron Brewer. The only thing left for us to do, as far as roster is concerned, is we're going to throw Sam Darnold up on the trade block. I have no idea what to expect as far as offers in return. We could double back around to some of the players on the trade block now that we have the injury to Brian Burns. Looking at some of the pass rushers that are available. Not, a whole lot of crazy, but I mean, AJ Epineza could be interesting. We could look at DJ Wanham, put him back on the line, hand in the dirt. Malik Reed, Terrell Lewis. I mean, there is some definitely pass rush help, or we promote Barno. And like we discussed earlier, there's some options here at middle linebacker. Malik Harrison, Diablo. We could look at maybe Jabril Cox. So there is a trade you guys think is really, really interesting that we should explore. Let me know in the comment section below. And lastly, we can now look at our skill trees. We have a couple points that we can spend, kind of prioritize. There's, we got, some of the trees are started. Of course, someone like Matt Rule has the staff mods tree already started, when player growth is so much better. But we're going to get, damn it. If we can get a win, I'm going to get the secret remedy because maybe it will shave a week off Brian Burns' injury. Our OC, wow. Working its way down there. OC's actually kind of established right now. We get 18 points. We're going to get that big +5 boost catching for wide receivers and tight ends. I like seeing that. Not much there on the defensive coordinator. Player personnel is absolutely barren. But I think right now, honestly, with the injury to Brian Burns, priority is getting 6 more skill points and reducing the injury time for him. So we're going to save those 14 for now. So that sets up everything nicely for week 1. Draft class, scouts, that will all be handled in the next episode. But I do want to set our season goal. I think, like, I'm trying to get the finger on the pulse of Panther fans, what they would consider a successful season, all things considered. You probably say make the playoffs. Feels a little lofty, all things considered. I think we will under promise, over deliver. We'll go 7 wins and maybe, some eyes towards making the playoffs. But that will do it here for episode 1 of our Madden 23 Carolina Panthers franchise. I hope you guys are hyped. Hope you guys did enjoy the episode. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. It very much helps out my channel on the YouTube. So YouTube robots love that. Leave comments in the comment section below. I was asking for feedback all throughout the video. I'll be checking through the comments as soon as this video goes live. And subscribe if it's your first time stopping by. We're trying to make a go of it here in the Madden 23 season. It's a lofty goal. Probably won't hit it, but I would love to hit 200,000 subscribers. So if it is your first time stopping by and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button because I very much appreciate it. But that'll do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you back here in the next one. Till next time, it's C4 saying peace out. Love ya.